What's up, YT? Today I am going to be playing the new bedwars update, and it says here clans. I wonder what it means, bro. Introducing clans. If you want clans, you can now create your own clan in bedwars. Playing matches will earn coins. You can spend coins on clan upgrades, unlocks, and even kids. Vixen. This week, let's go, bro. Bro, I am. No way. They actually fixed it. Bro, this is so hype. Farmer leaders, archer builder. Damn. Farmer and archer are very good. I guess. Look at added mass hammer, added double-edged sword. Added trios, 3 adders, ship. Calculating when deploy. Cheat improvements. Yes, thank you for fixing anti-cheat. Yeah, boy. It is like the first time they fixed anti-cheat, right? Yeah. This clan. Wait, can't actually buy kids. Bro. That is so expensive. Can someone invite me to your clan? I should watch TV. What else should I watch? Oh, his DV is live right now. DV, hi. Can I please join your clan? I wanna buy kits using the coins. DV, please notice me, please.
It's disgusting.
While waiting for DV to reply us, might as well play, right?
I want to be easy, don't worry. Can I give you this?
Might as well
Give them
use
this.
the archer.
Yeah, get it. Get it out of the... Get it. Yeah. Go Airy.
Damn, I'm almost tier 50. Hey, I don't want to play ranked.
Don't worry about it. Oh no.
I'm gonna try to get the new item.
I'm out. Come here, you. Y'all wanted to fight? Let's go.
I sent it 2 times. Hopefully he sees my message. Let's send it one more time. DV, please,
Attacking.
please.
He's cheating.
Bro, man, this is very good. Wait, wait. If I win the Robux giveaway, I'm not gonna buy Battle Pass first. I'm gonna buy the clan, and then I can buy kits using the coins, right? Bro, I'm smart. gotta go pray after this.
Just leave me alone.
So maybe I might like continue the video
I
later.
just want to hang out with you.
And once it's
Can't I hang
time, I
out?
can also win the giveaway.
I'm just hanging out. Leave me alone. Seriously, I just want to be cool with y'all. Thank you. Hey. We're just chilling out.
Uh-huh. Bruh.
You're fine, right? We're friends? Hey. Stop hitting me. Actual troll. Who keeps hitting me?
Come glitch, bro.
What are you doing back there? What are you doing back there?
I might as well die.
Alright.
I'll continue the video later. See you guys later.
Anyways,
YT, I'm back. I just ate my lunch and everything, you know.
Pretty cool
And
stuff.
guys, I won the 1K Robux
Bedwars,
giveaway.
get
Look at
A
this.
little bit more refreshing.
Look here, I already
Passes in
bought
2
the
weeks,
Game Pass that I
was predicting
made.
some good updates before that, but listen,
Look
I'm
at
the
this.
guy. Okay, well, this is where I end the video. Please subscribe, help me hit 800K, drop a like on the video, and don't join Wake Clan because he sucks. Alright, goodbye.
Okay, YT,
Humble
we
and
are
not
back.
taking advantage of his fate.
Let's go.
He had turned down the business class tickets the UN had offered him, and now he refuses to go out through the VIP gate. On their way out through the regular gates, they hear a mother calling for help for her child, and Junyoung doesn't hesitate to go to them. In just a couple of seconds, he saves the boy's life by helping him cough out the candy that had gotten stuck in his throat. He doesn't stay behind for pictures, he just rushes out while trying to call his daughter again to no avail. He's getting desperate, so Young-sun helps him by giving him a bag of chocolates and candy for him to gift Yoon-young before asking him to solve things with both his daughter and their business. Jun-young is confused by this statement until he sees what is waiting for them at the gate, a group of reporters. Young-sun has organized a small press conference without telling Jun-young because he knew he would say no. The airport gives him a small area where he can talk to the reporters about his work with the UN for the last 3 years. The news of his arrival appears on most channels, even the one currently on the TV at the arcade. Yoon-young and her friends have gone too. Now they believe her dad is famous and she allows herself to look proud of him until Jun-young mentions that her getting sick 3 years ago was the inspiration for him to do voluntary work, and Young-sun cuts to clarify Yoon-young is healthy now, just a little bit temperate. This embarrasses her in front of her friends and puts her in a bad mood again. After the press conference is over, Jun-young finally gets a text from his daughter telling him off for embarrassing her and making him promise he'll be on time to meet her or she'll leave. Jun-young improves her mood a bit by promising her lots of gifts and punctuality. Jun-young gets in his car and drives away to meet his daughter, only finding a small delay when he goes through the toll booths and the clerk drops his change, so she has to count it again. He almost makes it in time, but when he's nearby the area he was going to meet Yoon-young at, he sees a crash has occurred, so he stops to help. The car involved in the accident is a taxi, and Jun-young gently takes the driver out before checking on the passenger, a woman that sadly is already dead. When the paramedics arrive, he tells them about the driver's status before calling his daughter to tell her he'll be late, but a man answers his phone telling him she's been in an accident. It's then that Jun-young realizes that the person the cab has run over is Yoon-young. Before he can even react, Jun-young blinks and suddenly finds himself back on the plane with the flight attendant in front of him asking for his autograph. He goes with the flow and signs the magazine again, but he can't stop being weirded out by how his day seems to be repeating. Young-soo tells him the same exact thing. He predicts the kid choking on his candy, and the press conference is waiting for him at the gate. This time the situation makes him too nervous to even finish the interview, so he just leaves for the parking lot and texts Yoon-young. He tries to convince her to let him pick her up, but she turns him down and tells him to meet him at the usual place. He begins driving while trying to call her, but she won't answer, so by the time he makes it to the toll booth, he's too anxious to wait for his change when the clerk drops it and leaves without it. Sadly, by the time he makes it to the scene of the accident, he's too late. Yoon-young is already dead. As Jun-young drops to his knees in front of her, the day resets again. This time, he isn't patient. He runs out of the regular gate hallway, taking the boy's candy with him, and he takes the VIP gate to get to the parking lot without seeing the reporters. He texts Yoon-young and tells her they must cancel their meeting, which prompts her to call him and express how much she hates him being a distant father. She tells him she'll wait for him until he comes before hanging up, so Jun-young gets worried again and takes the road on his car by breaking the speed limits, even driving through the toll booth without even paying. In his hurry, he takes a one-way street and gets stuck in front of a car coming from the opposite direction. By the time he manages to leave, He's late again. The day resets once more, and this time, Jun Young leaves the airport driving like a madman. Now he knows to avoid the one-way street, but he ends up crashing into an alley and having to make his way to the scene of the accident on foot, so he's late again. During the next reset, since trying to talk to his daughter is pointless, Jun Young grabs the cab driver's phone and learns his number, so when the day resets again, he calls the driver to warn him about the accident, but the man hangs up on him. This time, when he rushes out of the airport at top speed, he takes some unfinished roads and makes it to the scene a couple of minutes earlier, but all this allows him to do is see the exact moment his daughter gets hit by the cab. Jun Young has a breakdown in front of his daughter, but suddenly he's grabbed by a man that tells him every day is the same except for him. This man is Lee Mitchell, one of the paramedics that Jun Young talked to when the accident happened the first time. While his co-worker had checked on the driver, Mitchell had looked into the cab and found that the dead woman inside was his wife Mikkel. Before he could even react, the day reset for him as well. He tried to call his wife, but she wouldn't pick up the phone, so after using a couple of resets to try to get to the scene of the accident earlier and failing, he started using his time to search for her, but none of her friends knew where she was. He did notice, however, that in every reset Jun Young was different, and this time is the first time he gets to approach him before the day ends. They only have a few seconds left though, so Jun Young tells him they should meet and talk once the day begins again. During the next reset, the two men meet at an abandoned road and share their experiences. It seems it's impossible to stop the accident from happening, so instead, they
That's my pause it, don't close it, idiot. Bro. Wait, was that man's hammer?
which embarrasses her in front of friends again, and she doesn't listen to her dad. After the conference, Jun Young calls Mikkel, who had had a fight with Mitchell, so she wasn't picking up his calls either, but she does answer Jun. Sink also gets a text message. It says,
妹妹，那个这个很好喝。
Meanwhile, at the airport, Jun Young tells Yong-sun about what he did. Yong-sun is upset to hear it, but also thinks it should stay in the past now
No,
that it's
I'm
over.
making a video right now.
Jun Young doesn't listen. When the time for the press conference comes, he confesses his crime in front of the cameras for the whole world to hear. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Meanwhile, at the airport, Jun Young tells Yong-sun about what he did. Yong-sun is upset to hear it, but also thinks it should stay in the past now that it's over. However, Jun Young doesn't listen. When the time for the press conference comes, he confesses his crime in front of the cameras for the whole world to hear. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.
What the hell, man? Stupid ad. 妹妹，两个都很好喝。
Hi, History Recapped here. Today, I'm going to explain an Indonesian comedy drama film called Too Handsome to Handle. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The Moss family has been good looking for several generations.
What the
They are
hell?
admired by many because of their beauty, which in turn makes them a lot of money. The eldest son, Okus, is an internet influencer. He has millions of followers because of his looks, and is also considered a love guru who helps men impress their crushes. The father, Pakar, used to be a heartbreaker who dated more than 1,200 girls before meeting their mother. Meanwhile, the mother can also be considered handsome because of her masculine features and an obvious mustache. Lastly, the protagonist, is the youngest son and the most attractive of them all. The family has gotten used to their life as people with good looks, except for Kulin, who struggles to live normally because of his handsomeness. He often wishes he was only mildly attractive. That way, he could go out without being chased by a crowd of women every time. Girls go crazy, pass out, pull their hair, and often get nosebleeds on getting a look at his attractive face. Poor Kulin. As a result, he has never had a genuine interaction with a girl. He avoids going out in public as much as possible, and has been homeschooled until now. Kulin has no friends to talk to other than his pet fish. He often plays cards with it and talks to it out loud. His family watches him through a camera in worry. They want him to have a normal teenage life and try their best to help him. Okus frequently shows him pictures of girls, trying to hook him up with someone. However, Kulin says that his type in girls is someone who doesn't like him. He wants to be seen for his personality and interest, interest, not his face. Perhaps Kulin wants to bait his fish. When nothing works out to motivate Kulin to go out, the family takes it a step further. They plan to fake financial problems and guilt him into going to school. One night, when Kulin wakes up to drink water, his parents pretend to be worried about their finances. They dramatically declare that they will only eat scrambled eggs for breakfast until they earn enough money for Kulin's homeschooling. He feels awful to be causing his parents so much trouble. The next morning, he declares that he will be going to school for the upcoming semester. The family is overjoyed until he mentions that he will only go to an all-boys school, although they would have preferred him to be able to talk to girls. They are happy to take one step at a time. A few days later is Kulin's first day at an actual school. Okus drops him off on his bike, but Kulin doesn't take his helmet off. He plans to wear it the entire day to hide the fact that he is handsome. However, the plan backfires when the helmet grabs more attention than he intended it to. Kulin quietly sits down in the last seat, but is called out by the class bully, Seedy, and his minions. When the teacher enters the classroom, she too is surprised to see a guy with a helmet. She urges him to take it off right that instant. Although reluctant, Kulin has no way but to oblige. He slowly takes the helmet off in a dramatic way, revealing his face. That plan backfired hard. In the following scene, the teacher is being loaded into an ambulance. It turns out that she started to nosebleed and hyperventilate because of Kulin's beauty. The other kids complain to the principal that the new student is too handsome to handle. Kulin runs through the hallway to go back home, but is tripped by one of the bullies. They bring him to the school's storeroom and introduce themselves like they are Power Rangers. They are called the Tiga Tog, a group of 3 bullies led by Seedy, the principal's son. After the over-the-top introduction, they reveal that they need Kulin's help to ask a girl out for prom. The group has been in the senior year of school for the past 3 years. They refuse to graduate until Seedy goes to the prom with the most beautiful girl of the BBM school, Amanda. However, she only accepts requests from handsome men, so the group wants Kulin to deliver the promposal. They assign an innocent guy, Kibo, to help Kulin and lead the way. Kibo has also been a victim of their pranks in the past and is obliged to do whatever the bullies say. Afterward, Kulin goes to the principal's office with Kibo to make an official complaint about bullying in school. Kibo knows what the outcome will be, but he still accompanies Kulin. The principal is troubled by his son refusing to graduate. Since Kulin's beauty gives him a chance to take Amanda to the prom, the principal wants them to do whatever the bullies say. That evening, Kulin and Kibo decide to complete the task the next day and get rid of the responsibility. Kibo is the first person who has shown kindness to Kulin, unrelated to his beauty. Although the day didn't go as planned, he is happy to have gained a friend. The next morning they go to the BBM school, where the girls smell the presence of the boys. They are strict about not allowing ugly boys to enter the school premises. Hence, when they notice Kulin wearing a helmet, the entire school asks him to take it off. In a climactic scene, Kulin takes the helmet off, and mayhem ensues among the girls. Poor Kulin. Only a few hours later, the news makes it to the television. Clips of girls crying, bleeding through their noses, getting possessed, and jumping around are being shared all around social media. Kulin starts being known as the too handsome to handle guy. The hottest student of the BBM school and model named Amanda also hears the news and is instantly smitten with Kulin. He is the first guy who matches in beauty and status with her. She immediately makes it her mission to impress him. When the news becomes huge, a crowd of girls gathers in front of the masked residence. The family starts charging them money for a house tour. Kulin, who is hiding in the street, sees his family on the news. He feels betrayed and used by his own people. When they call him, he refuses to come home and feels even sadder when his pet fish is mishandled and killed by the tourists. He is now on the roof of a building hiding from the maniacs, chasing him in the streets. Suddenly, a girl appears behind him and inquires if he is going to jump off the roof. Kulin looks at her in shock because she doesn't bleed from her nose or pass out upon seeing him. The girl refuses to talk. Kulin is so nervous that he can hardly speak. The encounter makes his day a lot better. A while later, he calls Kibo, who picks him up and invites him to his home. He and his grandmother welcome Kulin to stay for as long as he wants. On walking into Kibo's room, he sees two rare collectible playing cards and is amazed by them. They realize that they share several common interests, and playing card collection is one of them. The following day, they visit the all-girls school to look for the girl from yesterday. While they are at it, they also meet Amanda and give her the files of the promposal sent by CD. Amanda pretends to be unimpressed by Kulin's beauty, but after he leaves, her nose bleeds profusely. Kulin sees his crush on the stairs, but the other girls surrounding him do not allow him to meet her. For the next few days, Kibo and Kulin do everything together and become best friends. One afternoon, Kibo takes Kulin to play futsal, where he frequently goes to meet his crush, Riri. After the match, Kulin notices the girl from the roof working at a shop nearby. He cannot help but stare at her. Just then, Kibo arrives and introduces Riri to him. Kulin discovers that she is also Kibo's crush, who he was talking about earlier. The two seem to be pretty close, which makes Kulin jealous. He can hardly fall asleep that night because the feeling is new and confusing to him. Then, he remembers Okus is a love guru and fixes a meeting with him. When they meet the following morning, Okus breaks down crying tears of happiness. He has been waiting for this day to give his brother advice on girls. Kulin has forgiven his family for selling him out to his fans, because if that had not happened, he would never have met Riri. The brothers then go shopping for groceries, while Okus lists out the points of things Kulin should do to impress his crush. As Kulin follows Okus' suggestions, he registers he is far from knowing Riri like Kibo knows her, but he still doesn't want to give up on his first love. One afternoon, Amanda comes to the boys' school and hands Kulin an invitation for her birthday. Alongside it, she also gives him a phone as a gift. Later that day, Kibo, Kulin, and Riri go to karaoke. Eventually, Riri and Kulin get to sing together. While Kulin is excited to duet with her, Riri only focuses on Kibo. She soon registers that she also likes Kibo back. The revelation makes his heart crumble in jealousy. So, when Kibo is not around, he bluntly asks her if he has a crush on him. Initially, Riri denies it, but when Kulin lies about Kibo being in love with Amanda, her face drops. Her expression is enough to confirm his suspicions. After returning home, Kulin calls Amanda and asks her for a favor. She happily agrees to do anything he says. The next day, several people gather at the venue to celebrate her birthday. When Kulin and Kibo arrive, Amanda welcomes them. Strangely enough, she seems to be more interested in Kibo than in Kulin. She even pulls him aside to talk to him in private. At the same time, Riri arrives at the party and sees Amanda kissing Kibo. Heartbroken, she runs outside. Taking advantage of her vulnerability, Kulin confesses his feelings for her. Riri thanks him, but claims that she never saw him as someone more than a friend. Even after conspiring against his only best friend, Kulin gets nothing in return. A group of bullies also see Amanda kissing Kibo and are enraged with jealousy and anger. They beat Kibo up for it, while Kulin watches from nearby, too scared to interfere. Later, he brings Kibo home and dresses his wounds alongside his grandmother. Only after seeing him moan in pain does Kulin realize that he has made a huge mistake. The next day, Kibo gives him a legendary card from his card collection that Kulin had been wanting for a long time. Guilt-ridden, Kulin confesses to everything wrong he has done until now. Kibo is shocked and hurt by the betrayal. He claims that he would have left Riri if he knew Kulin liked her too. The words do nothing but hurt Kulin even more. At last, Kibo orders him to get out of the house immediately. Knowing that he is in the wrong, Kulin simply leaves. He finally returns home after a month. His family is overjoyed, but the same cannot be said for Kulin. He locks himself in his room and doesn't talk to anyone. But most of all, he misses his best friend. The two bump into each other at times, but never share anything more than a glance. At home, Kulin's mother is worried about his well-being. She approaches him one night and gives him his pet fish that never died. She also tells him that he can go back to being homeschooled if that is what he prefers. The family only wants his happiness and is ready to do anything for it. Kulin, touched by her words, realizes that he has people in his who are rooting for his success. This motivates him to make things right between him and Kibo. The next morning, he runs to Riri and tells her everything. Following that, he goes to Kibo and tries to apologize. Although Kibo dismisses him at first, when asked about Riri, he starts to describe how much he loves her. Kulin shows him that Riri was listening to him on the phone the entire time. That way, he goes back to being both of them. 2 days later, they all go go to prom together. Kibo's date is Riri, while Kulin's date is Amanda. Whatever happens to that bully? Who cares? As expected, Kulin and Amanda win the title of prom king and queen. Kulin hears a girl comment that he is only mildly handsome and is instantly drawn to her, indicating the start of a new relationship. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.
And I'm a StreamYard user. For the last 6 years, I've been live streaming consistently to YouTube and Facebook and everywhere else on the internet that would have me. And during that time, I've had the opportunity.
Hello everyone, welcome to Movieverse. Today we're going to talk about a drama, fantasy movie titled The Green Mile. Watch out for some spoilers here. The film opens with some guys carrying rifles and pitchforks as if looking for something. The screen goes dark and we hear whispering voices saying, "Yo, you love your sister. If you make noise, you know what's going to happen." But it turns out to be a dream from an elderly retiree, Paul Edgecombe, who lives in a Louisiana nursing home. At breakfast, Paul asks the nurse for 2 pieces of dry cold bread as usual. The nurse is worried about Paul, who often walks up the hill, and asks what he is doing on the hill. Paul tells him that he just likes to walk. He takes his bread and hurries off to the hill. He comes to a wooden house and looks into it through the window. In the afternoon, Paul and other elders watch the classic musical Top Hat, in which Fred Astaire sings the song Cheek to Cheek. Paul becomes emotional. His companion Elaine becomes concerned and they walk into another room. He tells his life story that hasn't been spoken over 60 years. Paul explains to her that the film reminded him of events that he witnessed in 1935 when he was an officer at Cold Mountain Penitentiary's death row. He was assigned to E Block, nicknamed the Green Mile because the floor was the color of faded limes. In 1935, the prisoners of the Cold Mountain Penitentiary are put to work, and a prisoner's truck passed by carrying a death row prisoner. Meanwhile, we meet our 44-year-old protagonist, Paul Edgecombe, who appears to be groaning in pain in the toilet due to his urinary tract infection. Paul supervises other officers Brutus Brutal Howell, Dean Stanton, Harry Phillips, and Percy Whitmore. Brute knocks on the door, informing him that a new prisoner arrived. Paul and his co-workers prepare to welcome the prisoner's arrival. The prisoner gets off the truck and is escorted by Percy, the arrogant and cruel officer. Percy yells "Dead man walking" while they walk, which makes Paul upset. As the new prisoner enters the block, the officers and other prisoners named Dell and Bitterbuck are amazed to see the prisoner, who is enormous. But when Paul looks at his face, he found that he has an innocent expression. Percy orders him to get into the cell by hitting him in the chest. Paul orders Percy to get out of there and help the other officers. Dell laughs at him, making Percy smack Dell's hand and swear at him. Paul scolds Percy and orders him to get off the block. Paul reads the prisoner's file and finds out his name is John Coffey. Paul introduces his co-workers to him, in case he needed help. Before they leave, John asks Paul politely not to turn off the lights in his room because he is afraid of the dark. Paul tells him that they always keep a few lights burning out in the corridor all night long. John then shakes Paul's hand. As the cell door closes, John looks sad and tells Paul he can't help it. He tries to pull it, but it's too late. The officers return to the office and think they get an imbecile to be executed. But Harry says imbecile or not, he deserves to be fried for what he did, then hands John the file to him. Paul reads the file. Then we see a scene showing a chronology of events that lead to John being sentenced to death. Somewhere in rural Louisiana, a family is hysterical because their 2 daughters are missing. The father, neighbors, and
Bruh,
civil
let's do it
officers
again.
search for the girls.
I need the double
When
X
the
sword.
father found a doll
Or
with
else I
blood
will not be
stains,
happy.
suddenly they heard a man
Right,
scream,
I
which
need
turns
drink
out
or
to
not?
be John crying, and the girls with him covered in blood. They approach him and his father beat him furiously. John tells an officer he couldn't help it. He tried to pull it back, but it was too late. Even so, the officer put his shotgun in John's neck, telling him that he is under arrest for murder. As Paul is about to finish reading the files, he is approached by his boss named Hal Moores. He tells Paul that he got an angry call from the state capitol 20 minutes ago, and questions Paul if he sent Percy off his block. Paul admits it, and Hal says that Percy is the nephew of a governor's wife. Paul then tells him that the mean and stupid Percy hit Dell's hand. He also complains that if Percy stays there, he will hurt the prisoners or worse. But Hal asks Paul to be patient, knowing that Percy might be leaving soon because he was applying for a good paid job at the Briar Ridge Mental Hospital. But Paul wonders why Percy is still here. Jan accepts Paul's situation and comforts him.
Oh yeah, I forgot I'm Archer Kid.
As Paul and
I
Pete
need
leave
my
the electric
catbook.
chair, they hear Brute laughing in the corridor. Brute call them and show them a mouse that comes out of the isolation cell, looking friendly and not afraid of humans. Brute then feeds the mouse with a piece of biscuit. Then the mouse goes back into the isolation
What the
cell.
hell, man?
Worried that the rat would make a hole in the wall of the room, Paul then asks another officer to catch the rat. Since the room has been turned into a warehouse, they then take
I can do it.
But unfortunately, They don't find the mouse. The next day, while Percy is combing his hair, suddenly the mouse appears behind him. He sees it and is annoyed with it. He then tries to throw his baton and wastes it. The mouse manages to escape into the isolation cell. He opens the isolation cell door, tries to find the rat. He then takes out all the stuff. Paul and Ruth come to see what Percy's doing, but they leave because they know he won't find anything. After Percy doesn't find the mouse, Paul warns him not to make a fuss there because their job is to make peace for the prisoners. But Percy denies and threatens them with his connections. Brute is upset and points him, but Paul calms Brute and warns Percy that he knows who his connections are and will finish him off if Percy threatens again. The next day, Paul and the officers conduct a rehearsal for Bitterbuck's execution. They ask an assimilation prisoner named Todd to volunteer for the rehearsal. That night, the top of Bitterbuck's hair is shaved off. He seems nervous about his execution and tells of the best time he ever had, and Paul tries to calm him down. Bitterbuck is then taken to the electric chair. Brute puts a wet sponge on his head so that electricity goes directly to the brain and accelerates the death process. It's now 10 o'clock. Brute then orders the officers to lift the electric lever. It fries Bitterbuck's body and he pays for everything he did, while Percy watches him from inside the lever. It fries Bitterbuck's body and he pays for everything he did, while Percy watches him from inside the small room. As the execution is over, Percy talks to Bitterbuck's body to send him a card from hell. Brute scolds him, but Percy thinks he was doing something right. Paul then reveals to him that he learned about Percy's job application to the Briar Ridge Asylum. Percy admitted and promised he will step out of there if he had the chance to take Brute's position even if it's just one time. Paul thinks he would grant what Percy wanted if he could change his attitude. The next morning, while Paul is at his desk, he heard a prison laughing loudly. Paul rushed to check it and finds something unreasonable. He then asks another officer to take a look. It turns out that Dell is friends with the mouse. Dell is so happy that the mouse comes into his cell. He even named the mouse Mr. Jingles and teaches the mouse to perform acrobatics. Percy comes to see that too, but now he is being nice and thinks he could find a cigar box for the mouse. That afternoon, Paul is called by Hal and told that tomorrow they will have a new prisoner named usually called Problem Child, and got really a kid tattooed on his left arm. Sentenced to death for killing 3 people and one of them a pregnant woman. But soon Hal looks gloomy, and he tells Paul that there is a tumor the size of a lemon in his wife's brain. The doctors can't operate on it because it is too deep. And Hal couldn't bear to tell his wife that she is going to die. That night, Paul woke up because he was beginning to feel pain because of the infection. He rushes to the latrine, but he can't stand the pain. Paul then peed near a pile of wood, then lay limp. In the morning, Paul tells his wife his infection is getting worse and he wants to go to see a doctor. We then meet Morton, his dope who looks like a retard. Harry, Dean, and Percy come to take him up. Percy insults him as a razor and tells him he will be fried on the electric chair. Meanwhile, Paul is waiting for their arrival in the corridor of the Green Mile. John from behind the bar says be careful. As they arrived, Wharton suddenly elbows Percy in the face and strangles Dean with his handcuffs. Paul tries to help Dean, but Wharton knees Paul's groin. Paul gets up and points his gun, but he doesn't dare shoot because Dean is too close to Wharton. Paul orders Percy to hit Wharton, but he just stands still. Luckily, Bruce comes, hit Wharton on the head and put him to sleep. After they put Wharton into his cell, Paul orders Brute and Percy to take the injured officers to the infirmary and make a report to the warden. Paul then goes limp in pain and collapses on the floor. John calls him to come closer to his cell. Suddenly, John grabs him and squeezes Paul's groin. Dell sees it and screams for help, but none of the other officers hear him. He suddenly falls silent as the light in John's cell shines so brightly that it explodes. John releases Paul. He then coughs and from his mouth comes out a kind of ashes that float into the air and disappear. Paul asks him what he has done to him. John says he just wants to help it and now he is tired. Paul is still confused, but he wants to prove what John has done to him. He then goes to the toilet. Miraculously, his infection disappears and he's with relief. Even when he is back home, Paul is able to satisfy his wife until the morning. He tells his wife that he didn't go to the doctor and John cured the infection. Paul then calls Brute, telling him that he wants to take time off. He intends to return the favor to John by meeting John called a lawyer named Hammersmith. Paul tries to intervene and tells him that maybe he can help John get a retrial of his case because Paul thinks John is not a murderer. Hammersmith understands Paul's point, but he tries to open Paul's mind by telling when their dog suddenly attacked his child's eyes for no reason. Even though they thought their dog was a good dog, Hammersmith shot his dog to death. He then says that the dog was the same as John. Paul could have believed John is a good person, but the girls were unlucky and stayed murdered. The next day, as a thank you to John, Paul gives John his wife's cornbread. John is happy and he shares the bread with Dell and Mr. Jingles. Gordon hopes John would share the bread with him too, but John thinks he will keep the rest. Long story short, Gordon is getting crazy. He does rude things to the officers, spitting on Paul, peeing on Harry, and spewing his food in Brutus' face. Gordon even strangles Percy from behind his cell and grabs Percy's crotch until he pees in his pants and cries. Dell laughs at Percy, making him upset and resentful towards him. As punishment, Warden is put in the isolation cell. The next day, Dell is told the time of his execution. Dell asks the officers to take care of his mouse. To please Dell, Brutus and Paul say that the mouse will be taken to the circus. But when Mr. Jingles runs out of the cell, he is stepped on by Percy, who holds a grudge against Dell for insulting him. Dell is very sad and crying, but then John asks Paul to bring Mr. Jingles to his hands. John blows something in his hand, and then it glows brightly. He coughs and a lot of ash fly from his mouth. Mr. Jingles recover and return to Dell. The officers are astonished at what they see. Paul and Brute then come to Percy, corner him in the electric chair, and Paul tells him he would put him out of Dell's execution, but after that he must go to Briar Ridge the very next day. Percy agrees. On a rainy night, it's time for Dell's execution. Before they step into the execution room, they leave Mr. Jingles to John, and Dell tells them that they are good people and wish he can meet them somewhere else. As Dell is seated in the electric chair, Percy curses at him and tells him that his mouse will not be taken to the circus because it is just a fairy tale. It's even worse. Percy purposely doesn't put the sponge in the water that is going to be put on Dell's head. Paul realizes it when he sees that there are no traces of water drops on the floor. Paul wants to stop the execution, but Percy quickly gives the officer a signal to lift the lever of the power plant. Dell is floundering in pain from that. Warden is going crazy and singing in his cell, while John feels the energy of Dell's suffering until Mr. Jingles is thrown from his hands and runs into isolation cell. The guests are horrified to see that and try to run out of the place. Brute asks Paul to turn off the power plant, but Paul refuses because it will make Dell suffer even more. Percy turns his face in horror to see Dell burned alive, but Paul forces him to see what he has done to Dell. After the execution is over, Percy says he didn't know if a sponge is supposed to be wet. Brute angrily smacks his face. Dell becomes angry and complains about what had happened. Paul says it's all Percy's work and he tells him about Percy's promise to move to Briar Ridge after this. Paul then goes to his block. John tells him he can feel all of Dell's pain. So can Mr. Jingles could feel it too. The next day, Paul and Jan go to Hal's house to see his wife. Hal tells Paul that his wife's condition is getting worse. She's not herself anymore. She swears a lot and is in a daze. Later that night, Paul tells Jan that he wants to have his co-workers eat at his house and plans something to help Hal's wife. The next day, at Paul's house, Paul asks their opinion about Mr. Jingles being healed by John Coffey. Paul is very sure John is not a bad person because God can't possibly give miracles to bad people. Paul also tells that his infection was cured because of John's ability. Paul then proposes to take John to Hal's house to cure Hal's wife's illness. At first, they don't agree because they will be jailed for being cautious. But Paul persuades them to want to carry out the mission by all means to minimize all risks. They then agree. To keep their mission from being discovered by Warden and Percy, Paul gives Warden a drink that has been mixed with sleeping pills. Then they lock Percy in isolation cell as punishment for his actions during Dell's execution. John is then taken out of his cell, but just as they are about to leave the Green Mile, suddenly a half-drunk Warden holds John's hand. It makes John see all the crimes they are about to leave the Green Mile. Suddenly a half-drunk Warden holds John's hand. It makes John see all the crimes Warden had committed. Paul releases Warden's hand from him and immediately takes Paul out of the Green Mile, and then he is put on a truck that goes to Hal's house. When they get there, Hal initially refuses them. However, after being persuaded, John is finally allowed to enter Hal's house. Seeing Hal's wife die, John immediately rushed to heal Hal's wife by blowing the air in Hal's wife's mouth. Hal's house is shaking, but then Hal's wife's face instantly breaks down. When it is all finished, John becomes exhausted. This time John is choking, not coughing, and ashes don't come out of his mouth. Hal's wife then thanks him by giving the necklace to John. They then take John back to the Green Mile. Percy is released from the
Bro,
isolation
I
cell.
pressed my balloons, but I
Suddenly
went
John
to
strangles
one
him.
thing.
John then blows the ashes from his mouth into Percy's. Percy's vision goes blank. He then approaches Warden's cell and kills him with a gun. The officers drop Percy down, and the ashes come out of his mouth. Paul, who was surprised by that, then asks John why he did that. John says he just wants to punish them for what they did. John then asks Paul to hold his hand to see the truth of his case. Paul then sees Warden was painting a house. A family believed him and he was paid for his work, but instead killed their daughters. It turned out that the killer of the girls was Warden. Paul takes his hand off John because he can't stand the sight. After the incident, the police come to investigate.
Oh, I didn't pause it.
While Percy is still blamed for
Shush, okay, Kayla? I'm making a video right now, okay, Kayla?
that night, Paul tells all this to Jan, who becomes worried about John's case because he believes John is innocent.
Come on,
The
man.
next day,
Do me
Paul
good again.
offers John to let him escape from there and says he is terrified of going to hell for executing an innocent man. John assures Paul that God knows what Paul has done to him as kindness, and he is tired of seeing all the evil of humans in this world. Brute then asks John his last wish. John says that he's never seen a movie. John's request is granted, and he is taken to a hall to watch the musical Top Hat, where Fred Astaire sings the song Cheek to Cheek. When John is about to be executed, the victim's family looks at him with anger and curses him while the officers bowed silently, sadly because they know the truth. Before the execution, John asks that he not be blindfolded because he is afraid of the dark. He is crying, so as Paul and he holds John's hand as a farewell. Ultimately, the execution is carried out and John leaves this world for good. In the present, Paul continues his story to Elaine, telling her that it was the last execution he ever took part in. He and Ruth then were transferred to a boys' correctional facility, while the other officers continue Paul's work on the Green Mile. He then takes Elaine to the wooden house on the hill, where he introduces her to Mr. Jingles, who is also blessed with a long life by John's miracle. Paul considers his long life as a punishment from God because he took the life of an innocent person. As a result, Paul has to see all his friends and even his family passed away one by one and remember all the memories of the Green Mile. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, watch videos like this. Turn on the notification, and leave a like has really helped the channel out.
No. Don't use that diamond, okay? Jump on that! Diamonds, let's go! No diamonds for you.
Alright, so bedwars recently buffed Alden's.
Alright boys, in today's video, yes, I'm going to be putting my phone number in my name yet again. And you guys absolutely killed the last video, but something happened. My editor forgot to blur one of the parts out, and some of you guys actually found my phone number. And some of you guys actually called me. Like, I'll be streaming, and I got phone calls from random people. And some of you guys were putting me in, like, group text chats with you guys. I was like, oh, what are you guys doing? So yeah, I had to go and change my number. So I'm going to be playing with a whole new number, and hopefully my editor blurs out every single time my number pops up. Or I'm going to have to change my number again. Alright, but enough of my talking. Make sure you watch the whole video to see what happens, because I got some pretty funny reactions yet again. Alright, so let's get into this banger video. Okay, so here's my new account with my name, and hopefully it's blurred out. So we're gonna hurry up, go into a bedwars game, and basically after everything I need is super toxic to the point where they're just gonna have to call me. And I know you guys can't see my name, but my name is Call Me with my phone number in the name. And like I said, hopefully I don't regret this. Alright, we're in our first game, and hopefully we can get a reaction. And guys, look at this new account drip. Jeez, we got the pizza on the shirt, and we got this guy pushing us. Okay, don't worry. Let me get my stone sword, baby. Hello, come here. Yo, we fall to the void. Easy. We gotta spam easy. We gotta hurry up and make him mad. Remember, we want reactions. Can we take his scrumptious bed? Oh, we got the bed. Perfect. Can we kill him? Put him in the coffin. Let's go. Easy. Okay, is he gonna talk? Is he gonna talk back? Let's find out. Alright, so he just left the game. He didn't give me a reaction. I didn't get a phone call from my phone at all. But it's okay. We still got other players in the game. Alright, we gotta make them really mad. I am the best. You guys can't beat me. I will easily kill all of you. Yo, I'm being so toxic right now. He typed that. He said, we'll see. Uh-oh. Bro, I hope he's the one who calls me back.
Make a best,
huh? Oh yeah, I'm the best. Oh, we're getting chased right now. Yo, chill. Let me get. Yo, I'm out. Yo, chill, guys. It's not that serious. Alright, let's get another set of balloons, 2 ender pearls,
It's a
perfect,
good
and
trick.
iron armor. Yo, what you doing? Come here, my boy. I'll just teleport right over there. What's up?
Yeah, no one cares now.
Really, bro? You're doing that? Are you serious? Oh, you just easy. Remember, I'm sorry for being toxic. I really don't want to be toxic, but we have to. I just killed you. He said, bro, you had iron armor. I had no armor. LOL. Sounds like a skill issue. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad for being this toxic. I'm not even gonna lie. Alright, but let's not talk too much trash, because if we die, we have no bed. We're gonna be out of the game, and they're gonna be just laughing at me. Ooh, look at that bow shot. Ooh. Bow master, baby. Give me that scrumptious bed. Thank you so very, very much. And we're gonna teleport over there. You know, they
I need
have
my
armor.
tech ball
Let's jump in this fight. Yo, what's up, bro?
and my.
Dead, let's go. And why don't I have a J? What the heck? I just realized that. Bow master, baby. Bow master. You can't be just sitting there while I'm going, bro. Come on. All right, we're gonna go push this. Come here. Come here. Yo, chill. Come here, bro. Come catch the whooping. I ran out of arrows. No. No. Oh, no, that's not good. That's not good. That's not good. We gotta dip. We gotta dip. We gotta dip. Use the balloons, baby. Use the balloons. Oh, wait. I don't have J-Hammer. I'm on a new account. I don't have a kit. Whoa, no way. Oh, that's gonna make it so much harder. Yo, look at Red. He said, try me, Garbro. And he said, okay, they both toxic. Yo, Red's being toxic too. Yo, come here, Red. Come here, Red. Come here, Red. Come here, Red. Oh, yeah. Red's dead. Red is dead. You just throwing me down with the snowballs? Come here. Come here. Come here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Come on. Kill him. Kill him. Kill him. Wow. Oh, my gosh. Let's go. Come here. Really, Red? Again? Oh, you know what? So this man's building up. Yes, sir. We're gonna come up. Oh, come down. Come here. Come here, Red. Yes. Let's go. Easy. Easy. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, we gotta run. We gotta run. We gotta run. We gotta run. Oh my gosh. Is he gonna call me? Build up.
I'm gonna
Build up.
get
Build
some
up. Chill,
more
bro.
emeralds.
Oh, I'm dead.
I don't need the
I'm dead.
airdrops.
No,
I'm
come
powerful
on.
enough.
He's spamming easy. No, bro. Look at him. He's calling me bad. He's being so toxic, but I deserve it. All right, let's go into the next game and let's try and get a reaction this time. All right, last game we didn't get any reactions.
I
but
need
guys,
my
I have a feeling we're gonna get
tech
a
ball.
reaction this time. And no
Please.
way nobody spawned
Let
next
me
to
out.
me. Cyan, really? You couldn't spawn there for a quick second for me, bro? Well, look on the bright side. I get free iron. Yo, Pink is going for Yellow's bed. Look at him. I like it. I like it. But I'm sorry, Pink. I'm gonna take your bed. Thank you for that. Yo, they're fighting. Yo, Pink killed him. Pink's got armor, which is kind of scary. Okay, I'm gonna run. Pink, chill. I'm gonna spam easy real quick. Oh, he's chasing me. He's chasing me. Chill, 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 chill. Build that out. Build up. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Let's go take his iron. I really want to kill this guy. No, bro. Chillax. Build up. Relax, relax, bro. No,
I should get more M's after this, so I
Is that
have
an
more
axe?
balloons.
No, no way you just took my bed. No way you just took my bed. Come here, come here, come here, come here. No, stop, 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 stop. Yes, 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 yes. Yes,
I'm
yes,
too
he died.
scared.
He died, he died, he died, he died, he died. I'm spinning easy, I'm spinning easy. All right, we're waiting. I'm waiting for my phone. Oh my gosh, bro. I don't think he's gonna call me. Oh my goodness. Yo, oh, I'm yeah.
I couldn't choose you easily. I just let you have that window because I know you have that.
Oh, you let me have the win?
I think you actually win over me.
Yes, I think I'm better than you, yes.
But I'm sorry.
I'm little.
And I even made the token for this game.
I don't know what to say, but I gotta go. I see you later. Oh my gosh, what the heck did they say? Alright, let me go into the next game and see if we can get some more reactions. Alright, let's go. We got one reaction already, and we're gonna get another one, guys. Trust me, trust me. I gotta be on my
Oh my
toxic
God.
A game. Alright, watch this. I am better than
That was so
all
close.
of you. I am easily going to win. Easy, easy. Alright, and here we go, my first contestant. Oh, they got a stone sword. That's kind of scary. Oh, no, they're building to me already. Yo, chill. Look at purple. They said sure. Build up, get him back down, and hit him off. See ya. GG's the chat, boys. Alright, take his bed, and we're gonna finish him off.
No!
Come here, my boy. Put him in
Not
the
just one more round. Just one more round, guys.
Easy, easy. Alright, now we wait. He called me an uncleaner. Oh my gosh, I think I'm actually getting a phone call. Oh, he's still spectating me. Wait, is he actually gonna call me? Oh, I'm getting a call. I'm getting a call. Okay, okay. Hello? Hello? Wait, how do you know this is me?
I was walking the street. Just kill me in bedwars?
Yeah? So what?
This is ridiculous. You're using hack codes. I can see you cheating. I want to rematch right now.
Okay, buddy. I think I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go. Yeah. Bye-bye. Bro, what the heck? They just instantly said, I'm gonna unsubscribe. Bro, that was the funniest reaction. I swear, that was funnier than the other one. No, my bad. Yo, chat. Wait, he's not taking it back. Yo, you made a mistake. Yeah, he's taking it. He's taking it. All right, come here, buddy. And he's got the footage. I'm not taking him. I'm not gonna be able to catch him at all. Hey, Purple, wanna give me a phone call? I just want a quick chat. Just call my phone number, okay? And then we should be in tip-top shape. Oh, you don't even have a bed. Perfect.
Well,
Look.
Oh
I
my
will.
god, yo, chill. I can't feel right here. Build. Oh, and I'm out. I'm running. Build up, build out. Ooh, that was close.
And you did have a
Wow.
Oh, yep, jumping right now. Let's go. Take your bed. Oh, give me the bed first. Build up.
No, let's say for each other.
It's all good though, boys, because we're going to go into one more game and try to get one more reaction. Hello, boys. Anybody want to call me? My phone number is in my name, and my phone is right next to me. Nope, nobody wants to call me. Okay, well then I will make you call me. It is time to be toxic, boys. Yeah, I am instantly pushing this guy. I'm going to feel bad. You're just going to take the bag? No! Thank you. Let's go! Easy. Alright, let's see if we're gonna get a call. Look at my time. I don't know what that means, but okay. The blue. What? Okay, they're still spectating me. Oh, we're getting a call. Wait, why do I know this number? Wait, who is this? Is it Face? This is you?
Yeah?
What the? Whose account are you playing on?
Dude, come on, bro. I'm literally trying to record a video on my old account, and you're over here doing me try hard, bro. You're ruining the whole thing.
Oh, my bad, bro. I'm sorry. Oh, my video just got better. Thank you for that.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Alright, well, I'm gonna go finish this video. Alright, see you, bro.
Okay, thank you.
Bro, what are the chances of that happening? The person I kill is one of my friends making a video on an alt. And of course we get killed while we're on the phone call. But anyways, guys, that's gonna be the video for today. And if you enjoyed that, make sure you leave a like. And if you want a part 3, let's try and hit 10,000 likes for the video. But anyways, guys, I'm Fulton and I'm out.
In today's video, I'm doing an extreme lucky block race with my friend. Essentially, we both mine a lucky block, and we want to go die. But little does he know, I'm going to be great. I'm able to spawn in OP items, so after each block I mine, I'll spawn in something like I got it. Now he rages so easy, this is going to be hilarious, and when I tell him at the end, I know he's going to be mad. Alright, enjoy.
I'm 100% when you guys are going down, dude. My luck is gonna be insane. Through the roof.
Okay. I'm gonna link to the first block. Go ahead and mine the first block, my guy. Let's see what happens.
Rage blade right here.
Oh, that's drink it. Oh, that potion make you tired. What's wrong with your head?
How I'm gonna win the game.
Okay, dude, okay.
I'm taking the rage blade.
Alright, I'm not gonna just yet,
Hurry up.
but I'm going to, don't worry. Alright, here we go.
The cannon.
Bro, these cannons are sick, dude. What do you mean?
Okay, I got it.
Can I hit one? Oh, it's rock cookies.
Bro, why are you doing all the good stuff?
Alright.
And, bro, what am I gonna do in the apple? There's no doctors around.
Okay, wait, hold on one second. Alright, look, guys. Right now I'm gonna go ahead and spawn in a rage blade, and I'm not gonna actually have it out yet, but as you can see, it's right there. And also it's on the chat, but he has no clue. What's wrong with this avatar? Yo, what's wrong with your avatar, my guy? Oh, thanks.
Can you hurry up and break your rock?
One sec. Okay, now after I break this block out on the floor, rage blade, I got her. Okay, let's see what he says. Alright, come on, good. Yo, I got a rage blade, bro! Oh my gosh!
Bro, I did not see the rage blade.
What did you see me get?
Nah. What? Whatever, dude. Well, I'm getting a rage blade too right here.
Oh, smoke bomb. No, I don't want your smoke bomb. Dude, I got a rage blade, bro. How much damage that done?
You almost one-shotted me.
I'm not gonna lie, you're kind of screwed here, bro. Did you get this next one? Oh, another rock. These are OP too.
That's the only good thing you're gonna get.
I love that rage blade, bro.
Yeah, whatever. Alright. Oh, again.
Okay, come on, here's some good. Yo, I got jump fruits.
Why am I getting nothing good? I got a piece of bread, apples, and some smoke grenades. My luck is insane through the roof.
It's alright, man. It's alright.
Go worry, bro. Go worry. Wow.
Alright, bro, I'm gonna get my block right now. But 1 second. Okay, wait, I'm gonna spawn in the dodo bird.
My lucky.
Yo, be quiet.
You're not minding.
Be quiet. Okay,
Going to get me some, tadpoles, huh?
Oh, bro. Okay, I get it. I get it.
That's how else am I supposed to win?
I look, you messed up there, but it's fine. I'm gonna do it again next time. Alright, bro, go ahead and go, bro. Get your lucky block done with, bro.
And here's the rage blade.
Oh, you got leather armor.
Leather armor, bro.
Okay, hold on. Let me get mine real quick. And yo, what? Yo, no, dude. Okay, dude, it dropped 2 items, bro. It's the new lucky block special, bro.
No.
They added that in the game, bro.
And dude,